Yeah.
Happy Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday in Seattle. It is June 18th. So today I'm actually going to be talking about this camera right here that I'm vlogging with currently. It is the Sony ZV1. I love the Sony ZV1. I've used it for so many vlogs, especially the SF vlog and New York vlog. I use this for so many of the trips. And I thought it'd be really fun just to go over what exactly I used for the setup. This past week I made another video about a mic, so I thought it'd be fun to keep the theme of tech. But yeah, I love the Sony ZV1. It's been the best camera for vlogging. But yeah, on my way to grab some Boba right now. We'll talk more about the camera, what I use, the setup I have, and what I recommend for people who actually do want to get this camera for making videos on YouTube.
Sit still for a little bit. Can't you sit still for a little? Can't you sit still for a little bit? Can't you sit still? Teacher told me need to get that pencil up out of my nose. Can't hold on a singular pose. Switch from to to fro when the wind gon' blow. And it's hurricane season everywhere that I roam. I like
Ding tea, just down the street at UW. Got the strawberry Yakult with golden boba and pudding, because I've been in a huge pudding craving lately. But yes, today we're gonna be talking about the Sony ZV1. Before we do that, let's get some of the lighting in here actually. Ooh. There you go, much better. So, to talk about the ZV1, I should probably be holding the ZV1. Okay, so we'll be switching to the R6 now. So this is the R6, this is what it looks like. Really nice camera, it's just heavy. And this is the Sony ZV1. But yes, let's talk about the Sony ZV1, what I love about it, and why it's been my favorite vlogging camera. So like I said earlier, the Sony ZV1, I've actually used this camera right here, ZV1, in almost every one of my vlogs for the past 2 months, I would say. This is a camera I got to really jumpstart my vlogging again, my YouTube content creation, whatever you might call it. It's been awesome, I love it. And that's why I really want to talk about my setup and how I got it to be, I would say, the almost perfect vlogging camera or content creation camera out on the market. 2 gripes, talk about that later though. All of these accessories I'm about to say will be listed down below. If you do decide to get them, it'll help me out on my content creation journey. I'll get a little piece of that, just I'll let you guys know. Yeah, affiliate links, you guys know how they work. I'm not gonna talk about the Sony ZV1 specifically, because if you want, you can see those reviews. If not, I'll list the specs right here. Pretty fire, pretty nice camera. The one thing that you can't really see on my spec sheet is the size. This camera is tiny, and I can't like emphasize that enough. Like, this is like a large bubble tea, right? Or bubble, why do you call it bubble tea? Large boba, right? It's like smaller than the typical boba size. Like, that's crazy. But straight out of the box, it wasn't the perfect camera. I had to buy a few accessories, a few tools that really helped make this camera go from a good camera to, I would say, a great camera. One of the best, if anything. These are those accessories. So the first thing I got, it actually came inside of a kit that Sony offered. There aren't that many like tripods or things I recommend, because most of them are kind of jank, but I've been loving this one. This is a Sony, this is like the Sony Creator Tripod. It's like built specifically with creators in mind and YouTubers and vloggers in mind. It's nice because it has, you know, one, it can fold out into an actual tripod. Like, that is sick. I love that. Batteries, you can actually replace them fairly easily. So it just takes one of those like circle batteries. You can buy these at like stores and stuff, pretty easy. So battery's great. It actually hasn't died once yet. I've had this for like 4 months now. It's been great. So you can like adjust like this too, so it can go forwards and backwards when you need it to. And at the same time, you can also like, whoo, you can just like swivel this, like it just swivels. So it has like a swivel thing. It's very convenient, it's very nice. But one of the big things I didn't like about it originally actually is that it has a screw on to, I forgot the official term for this mount, but it's one of those screw on mounts, and it's not very effective, if I will say. I don't like the idea of having to screw this on every single time. So what I did instead was I bought one of these Arc or Swiss mount plates. So these you can get on Amazon for like 30 bucks. They're great. I have them on almost all of my tripods because it's just so convenient to have these. So what I did was I just, you know, you can screw it on the bottom here. Let me show you guys how long it would take. So watch. Imagine doing that every single time. Not fun. I knew that right away. Like as soon as I was using it, I was like, that's gonna be a pain. What you do is you just screw it on top. There's a plate on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. And you literally just clip it on. It takes 1, 2, 3, that's it. So this is what they call a quick release tripod plate. So you can literally just take it off when you need to and pull out another camera if you want to. It's great. I love it. It makes using this tripod way easier across not just my ZV1, but across all the cameras that I have. Love this tripod. Definitely get the Arco Swiss mount on top of it. You won't regret it. This is probably the #1 thing I recommend to get with the Sony ZV1. Good product, Sony. If the Sony one is actually out of budget, I actually do recommend this tripod as well. This is just the Manfrotto. It's like a mini tripod. It also splits into 3 legs. It's very nice, very slim. I would also recommend putting the tripod head on here. I think that would help with the experience of this as well, because you also have to just screw it in manually, and that's not fun. No one likes that. But this is also a great and solid tripod that I can recommend. So the next accessory that I would recommend with the Sony ZV1 would actually be this small rig cage. So I don't know if you can see this right here. This isn't what the camera looks like by itself actually. So pretty much the camera looks pretty slim without the actual cage on here. So this is what they call like an L bracket cage. So it literally just it's in the shape of an L. Why I recommend getting this is because the actual ZV1 doesn't have a grip on it. Actually, it does, but it's very shallow. So it's really hard to just like hold on to. So when you have something like this, like a little grip, it gives you a better handle when you're actually holding the camera. And when you're vlogging, you know, you're gonna run into different situations and scenarios that you aren't gonna expect. You wanna make sure you have a good grip on your camera so you know, nothing falls, nothing breaks, and that this camera is safe, and also the environment around you is also very safe. Very important things. So I recommend this cage in particular though, because one, it keeps the actual profile of the camera very slim and very sleek, right? It's not like, it doesn't change the actual size of the camera. That's what's amazing about it. But at the same time, it has a little like wood grip here, and I think it makes the camera look so sleek and so clean. It adds like that little extra piece of aesthetic that my heart just loves. But yes, highly recommend this L bracket cage. It'll save your wrist, save your hand, and will probably save your camera too. All right, next, microphones. Let's talk about microphones. There are a ton of different microphones I recommend. The internal ones, it's fine. It's decent, in my opinion. They say to get better. I think it is better than most internal microphones. I still wouldn't use it reliably when I'm, for example, on a boosted board or on different, when there's wind. There's a lot of wind in Seattle. What I personally use is the Deity D3 Pro. I've had this mic for years, and they actually have great warranty and customer service too. Highly recommend this mic. It's been great. I have a plethora of other mics. Like right now, I'm recording this on, this is the Rode Video Go 2. Rode Video Mic Go 2. Yeah, I love this mic too. I use this mic pretty much all in SF in New York as well. At the same time, I also recommend this one. This is the Rode Video Micro. It's a $50 mic, and in my opinion, it sounds a lot better than the actual onboard mic as well. So highly recommend getting this too. It's tiny, it's slim, and you won't regret it. Another thing I also recommend too for this camera, get a ton of batteries. When I was in New York in SF, I went through like 5 or 6 batteries or each day of the vlog, not even the whole vlog, like just each day that I was shooting. And you saw in New York, I shot like 5 days or almost 5 to 6 days. And in SF, I shot like 3 days, 4 days. And it was tough, yeah, because I had to keep changing batteries almost every hour. It was painful, it was tough. Stock up on batteries. I really recommend just getting the Sony ones. I know they're a little bit more expensive. Getting the Sony ones actually are way better, solid. Couldn't recommend those more. And lastly, 2 more things that I highly recommend getting for your Sony ZV1. The biggest thing that I recommend is actually this thing called the wide angle adapter. So the Sony ZV1 by itself actually isn't a very wide, the lens itself isn't very wide. The lens on here is actually a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. So what that means is at the wide end, it goes all the way to 24, and at the far end, it goes all the way to 70. So there are a lot of pros and cons to this. So the pro is that you definitely get to zoom in a lot more. You get more depth. I've got a lot of shots in New York and SF because of that 70 millimeters. I got to really zoom in and get crazy angles. But on the far end, on the 24 millimeter, it isn't wide enough. If you see a lot of vloggers out there, you'll notice that they have the ultra wide lens, and like you see a lot more. That's because they have this thing called a 16 millimeter lens. So this camera, the ZV1 by itself, goes into a 24 millimeter focal range. It's not very fun to vlog with, if I'm being honest. So this is what I mean by it being a lot wider. You get to see a lot more of my background, what's in my room, etc. Now, if I were to actually take this off, so watch this. So this is what it looked like now. So this is an 18 millimeters. This is what it looked like at 24 mil. Now, it's not awful. It still looks really good in my opinion. The lens is very sharp, but you're not seeing as much in the background. You're seeing a lot more of just my face. And yeah, for vlogs, it's just not the look that I would really recommend going. It still looks good. 24 is still decently wide enough, and you can still do vlogs without this, but I just recommend it because it makes it look like this, you know, to this. One thing to note about this though, it actually like screws on just like this. So it screws on. It looks crazy right now. If I do this, you're actually gonna see what it'd do to this lens. It'd make it like a fish eye, which is wild. Oh, this looks crazy. I mean, look what a 16mm did to this. This turned into like a 14 almost, which is wild. That's really cool. 16. Pretty much what you're doing is there's a piece of adhesive on this actual lens. This element is pretty heavy, if I do say so myself. It's got a little bit of heft to it. Like, it's not a lightweight lens, like by all means. You actually saw this in my New York vlog, but the adhesive actually fell off mid-vlog while I was in New York. I was recording a time lapse and it just fell. Y'all's my like lens camera thing, or my lens mount that makes my camera wider fell off today. It's literally by adhesive, so it makes the lens wider because this isn't naturally a wider camera. Still, it's annoying. If you are gonna be recording yourself at all, this is a must. This is a necessity. You need to get this adapter because it will drastically change both the look of your video, the feel of your video, and the experience that the user is gonna have when you're actually recording on the ZV1. It makes a very big difference, I promise. The last thing that I actually recommend for this camera, this is kind of goes in with the lens as well. I recommend getting a ProMist filter. So I showed this in the New York vlog too, but what a ProMist filter does is it pretty much creates blooming in the highlights and like creates this blooming effect. You probably saw it when I took off this lens, but you saw that my face was more sharp and in detail, whereas the actual ProMist filter makes it a little softer, a little lighter, a little more pleasing to look at. So I highly recommend getting a ProMist. It really makes your video look a lot better, looks way more cinematic, just more aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. But yes, this right here, this to me is the perfect Sony ZV1 setup for vlogging. You have the grip, you have the mic, you have the wide angle lens, you have the ability to quickly record and not record while you're out and about vlogging. And most importantly, it's the ZV1, so it's lightweight, it's compact, you're gonna love it. This is such a solid setup. I am so happy I got this because it makes my life easier when I'm vlogging. It's just a lightweight portable camera that I can use reliably, and I have. This right here, this does the trick, right? Like, this is such a portable and lightweight setup, and I love it. Whew. So you guys aren't saying this, but I've been recording for 30 minutes. Yeah, in terms of what you guys see, it'll be like probably less than like probably 10 minutes. I have been rambling. I don't want to stay inside all day. I'm actually gonna go over to Green Lake actually and check out and just get some fresh air. I'm headed to Green Lake just to get some fresh air and get out of the room. Been in my apartment all day. I need a break. It's starting to rain. Ugh.
Go smile when I take care of the problem. I'll be just fine. How about y'all? Baby, go smile and tell me that it's all. There ain't no wall that can be solved with a massage.
There's so many geese. I don't know, Green Lake always has so many geese.
Cuddle up close, know how it goes, keeping it suave. Tingle champagne all night.
Ooh, that is so peaceful. Sometimes you just need to go outside, get some fresh air. Yeah, my camera is about to die, sadly. But I think that's the end of today's video, or this week's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Yeah, I leave you with this wonderful view. Peace out, y'all.
I'll be just fine. How about y'all? Baby, go smile and tell me that it's all. There ain't a bowl that can be solved with a massage, babe. So what you calling for job?